Say hello to Funny Egg. It's an egg that's funny. And it's been sitting in dust forever.
It's like a gelatinous...
It's absolutely coated in little bits of dust.
It's a gelatinous membrane with water on the inside and a fake yolk.
Mm-hmm. It's like an egg, but it's for play rather than eating.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's the comedy egg, folks.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that hilarious?
Kind of droops.
And not terrifying?
Whoa.
Yeah. Belongs in Prometheus.
Yeah. It looks like it's going to crawl down my throat.
So yeah, be sure to check out The Force Awakens in theaters. Or something.
Oh, for sure.
Anyway. Yeah, those are the Riddick goggles.
Yeah.
So check out that movie too. That's getting a reboot in 2017.
Now you can just assume that something's gonna get a reboot.
Yeah.
It's just like, you name it, and I'll just wait for the reboot.
Well, I was...
Worst case scenario, it's one of those soft reboots, where it doesn't want to admit that it's a reboot, but it's actually like... It's trying to be a sequel and a reboot at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a reboot-quel. Like Mad Max Fury Road. It's really a reboot, but they're disguising it as a sequel to try to get the maximum amount of dollars.
Well, I made the right decision of waiting for the re-release of Dragon's Dogma that I knew was coming. You know,
I only waited 4 years.
I bought the game on PS3,
and
I didn't beat it. I didn't get bored of it. I didn't get stuck or anything.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for the PC release, and now I get to play it.
Smart. It only took 4 years.
Yeah.
It came out in 2012. It was their game of the year in 2012.
I know.
And then it finally came out 2016, Dragon's Dogma on PC. You should check it out. It's an awesome game. I'm sure it's even more awesome now. Because, you know, the frame rate's going to be better.
You could say that I have it now. And I've had it for a while.
Yes, you could say that. Get it? I haven't seen The Force Awakens, actually.
Yeah,
no one believes me, like, that in 2016, and me being
being Riddick.
Being an individual who lives on the computer, no one believes me when I tell them that I haven't watched a trailer for it.
You haven't watched the trailer. Yeah, I don't believe that either. But,
I watched a few minutes of the very first teaser trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Just enough to see how, like, the stupid thing with Han Solo being a million years old and forcing him into the movie.
Yeah.
And that's it. I don't know the first thing about it.
I can't tell if it's good or not either, because, like, as far as I know, half the opinions people have are just controlled by hype.
I think,
like, younger people at least like the prequels at first. Now nobody likes them.
No. A lot of people, were saying that it rips off the first movie a lot. Like, I guess they built another Death Star.
Yeah,
And as soon as I heard that, I was like, that can't be right.
Yeah.
You're now realizing how strange of a costume that was for Darth Vader in the movie.
I just don't like the sound of the sound of his.
That's why I hate it too.
Shoulders.
I hate the sound when I wear that and I talk. I can hear it vibrating back into my own head. It's really strange.
It's true. It kind of gives you the Darth Vader voice.
To yourself.
At least in your head, yeah.
Because it vibrates back in your own head. It's really strange.
But
man, the costumes in that first movie were like strange.
Yeah.
And that material. That's like that's what it was. Like in the movie. Like,
yeah.
It looks just like the
I know.
I know.
It was just plastic. And like the did you see that Red Letter Media video where they they use the expanded universe lore to explain Darth Vader's suit.
Yeah.
And they just went on and on about the materials, how
it's plasticsteel.
It just looks like plastic.
It's like Star Trek in the 60s. They like, if something looked cheap, it was actually so advanced that you couldn't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the spacesuits in the original series of Star Trek were actually these like felt things that they put on, and there was no. It was like wearing a garbage bag.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's. You just check it out. Like look up spacesuits in Star Trek the original series. It's just hilarious what they look like.
Yeah.
But I guess it was so advanced that it just looked like shit.
Speaking of which, I think Oculus might have sort of killed itself.
Yeah,
with
Oculus,
its pricing.
Oculus Rift just became available for pre-order.
Yeah.
I think to the public.
I think.
And $399, like $399. Is that it?
I think it was 600.
Oh well, geez, I don't know. And here in Funbucks land, Monopoly Money Land, it's gonna be like $1,000.
Yeah. But people were saying 600. That's
yeah,
the
I
figure
can't
I
remember.
heard. Yeah.
Anyway, it's too expensive.
Yeah, I think it's just too expensive. See, they're trying to do what the iPhone did, which I don't get. I still don't understand how Apple does it. But they release something, it's absolutely useless, it has no features, and it costs a fortune. And then a year later, everyone's copying off of it.
Well, modern like PC, as in political correctness, SJW, Apple stuff. If you, yes, I conflated the three terms together.
Same thing.
Just pretend it's a religion, and all of a sudden it makes perfect sense. And that's what I've been doing since. And now I know why people buy these Apple things, because it's actually a religion.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, you can't insult it. It's right, and you're wrong, but there's no facts to back it up.
Mm-hmm.
It generated from nowhere, and it gives people a reason to live.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh my god, I get it now. So you have to treat it like a religion. So when you meet them, you have to step around the topic like you would someone who was devoutly orthodoxly religious. It's the same thing. It's no difference.
Yeah.
It's like how somehow in like the last few years, atheism is no longer lack of faith. It's a replacement for faith.
Yeah.
Like it's
yeah.
People will fight you to make you atheist. But that's like just confirming that that's their faith.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like it's supposed to be the lack of faith.
Mm-hmm.
It's not supposed to be I'm an atheist and I have gods.
It's funny you bring that up.
And they do have gods.
There's this little art game on Steam called That Dragon Cancer.
Oh yeah. Oh great.
Well, yeah, you know.
Now what do we got to play sad sick games now?
It is what it is anyway. People were given that not recommended ratings, the sort of thumbs down, because it had such a focus on religious themes, and that was making them uncomfortable.
Well, no, it's the same thing. Like, when are people going to realize? Like if you're an atheist and you let religion make you uncomfortable.
Yeah,
that's like being
you're uncomfortable
religious
because someone's going against your religion.
Yeah, it's like
and you can't relate to it.
That's not how you get them to convert. You get them to say you don't have to worry about it, and then they'll gradually just agree with you.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's like this makes me uncomfortable. I can't be doing with this. Not recommended. Instead of just not buying it. Like.
Well, no. There's no evidence that it has any religious themes.
Oh well, I don't know. See, it doesn't matter.
Why?
If it has religious themes or not. If enough people think that it does,
yeah,
then it effectively does. If something's a lie and you scream it loud enough, it becomes the truth.
Like, that's not what I was saying.
No, it probably doesn't. All right.
No, hold on.
What?
I'm saying it starts off neutral.
Yeah.
And then halfway through, it dumps all the crap on you. That's what people were complaining about.
People played that long through it?
No, but they bought it not knowing that it had religious themes.
Oh.
And then it offended them, and they
that's what the refund
felt troubled
is
about
for.
it. Oh yeah, you can refund.
You can refund next year if every game is about cancer, and I have to put up with every game being about being sad. And I'm gonna flip. But it's me that's wrong, because the majority of people wanted it.
Yeah, I like
So,
sad games. I like Earthbound 3, and Undertale, and
oh, you like Tumbler Tale?
yeah.
Okay.
And see, I don't want to talk about it though.
Okay.
Everyone, we talked about it enough. Just as a race, we talked about it enough. So might not be in the awards either. I don't know.
I think there's a concerted...
But it's really good anyway.
I think there's a behind doors effort to get that absurdly high reviewed. Like, I think something's going on.
Yeah. That is... It really exploded way too much.
Call me a conspiracy person. But it seems strange that the most Tumblr game ever made, that no one in their right mind would like normally, just came out and everyone was like, 10 out of 10 instead of 8. You know, or 7. 10 out of 10. This game that just came out.
Yeah. It's not 200% Tumblr like people are saying. It has a little bit of things here and there, like quirky characters, that kind of thing. But generally, yeah,
I'm going to say is I hope you're ready for the copycats.
It is a copycat already.
I know.
It's a... It's copying Mother 3. Just think... If you haven't played Undertale, just think of Mother 3.
Abort. Eject. One out. Oh, man, it's going to be so much pixel shit this year. Not pixel art. Pixel shit. It's different.
Yeah. But there always is. Stop saying stuff. Just like... God, like... Who's... Just don't buy it. Don't buy this stuff.
I already said I wasn't going to.
Yeah. I mean... There's so much crap. Why even pay attention to it?
We're going to be playing... Like, well, we're not going to be playing it, but people are going to be playing... by this fall, here's a prediction. There's going to be a million more pixel shit Tumblerina simulators, and they're all going to get really high reviews from people with long, like, tentacle fingers. And they're just going to be pumping out these crap reviews, like Polygon's going to do it, and Kotaku's going to do it.
Yeah.
There's a prediction. Where's my hate-fueled anger games? Where's my regressive backwards anger games at?
Yeah.
Where'd they go?
We need more, I can't even think of an example. What are angry games? Like... Oh yeah, I heard of Darkest Dungeon a bit, and I just looked into it today, and that looks kind of angry. Like, it seems like it hates you. That seems interesting. It's coming out in a few days. It's apparently, it's like a dungeon crawler that focuses on disease and the psychological effects of dungeon crawling. And like
sounds like a good time.
Trying to keep your team together and stuff like that. Sounds brutal.
Is that one that looks like a Flash game?
Yeah, it looks like a Flash game though.
I'm not saying it's not going to be good, but I mean,
Yeah.
It's like it reminds me of a 2D version of Codename Steam. That type of art.
Yeah.
You want to see an
Codename Steam.
ugly looking, stupid looking game. Look up Codename Steam on the 3DS.
Yeah.
You'll immediately see why no one bought it.
And no one bought it too.
No.
It absolutely flopped. It's amazing.
They made such a big deal of that at like E3 2013, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was 14, I can't remember. Oh.
It came and went so quickly.
That's not how you do a new Nintendo franchise at all.
Mm-hmm.
You don't, like... No Nintendo franchise has ever succeeded by trying to be Western. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't try to look like Nickelodeon. Or,
yeah.
You know? Like, I think that's what put people off. I think people, when they go to play a Nintendo game, they're expecting a new, fresh style.
Yeah.
Right? They're not expecting something that looks like a TV show from when they were 10.
Yeah.
Like, they want to be a little bit outside of that realm.
Yeah.
It's a complicated topic.
See, it had polka dots, like it was trying to look like a comic.
Yeah.
And it had speech bubbles.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really look like a comic.
No.
That's not what Western comics look like.
No, and it just kind of...
It's more like Justice League.
It's not even...
That didn't look
it's
good
not
in the
even
first
doesn't
place.
even look as good as Justice League.
No, it's
because
like
it's
a
in
poor
3D,
man's...
so it just kind of...
Yeah. It's like poor man's Justice League.
Yeah.
Oh.
What?
You know what happened?
What?
AGDQ.
Yeah.
That happened.
Yeah.
That happened, and I was watching the task block. I was watching the task block before I came here.
Yeah.
And I didn't think of it. I forgot it happened.
Yeah.
I think I'm starting to get bored of that.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I
mean, aside from the task block, because
here's a prediction.
The tool assisted stuff is just top notch always.
A prediction. I think AGD last year's GDQ stuff. I think they topped out at like $1.5 million. This one was only like 1.2. I think it's going to be going down, and I think people are going to get wise to the fact that there's a ceiling to how good you can get at any of these games.
Yeah.
And they're going to get bored seeing the same strats over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Because they're going
to
top out, right?
And see, I've been getting bored of seeing the same strats between games.
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, the run for Bloodborne is basically the run for Dark Souls.
It's all standard
like
strats.
Before the patch.
Like, it's standard skips. It's interesting, but it's not...
Just clipping, trying to get around corners faster, dodging enemies.
Yeah.
There's too much empty space in a speed run normally.
Yeah.
I think, for it to be truly entertaining.
I think people are gonna get off the boat with that eventually.
It is kind of a fad too.
It's a fad, and I think people are gonna wake up to the idea that like as time goes on, they're gonna like start realizing that it doesn't matter how much you donate to prevent cancer. Like, people are gonna, like... I think people are gonna start to figure that out. Like, eventually, they're gonna come to terms with the fact that...
Yeah.
You could throw trillions of dollars at it, and it wouldn't... It's just a drop in the bucket.
It should be noted that the Prevent Cancer Foundation isn't a scientific research foundation.
Yeah, I know. I think maybe...
It's more of,
I don't know. I don't want to be mean, right? But I think there might be a little bit of hoodwinking going on with the people at AGDQ. I think maybe they're donating to these things, and it has trigger words in them. Like, cancer is a trigger word. You say cancer, people already want to donate.
Yeah.
People already want to thoughtlessly be altruistic without thinking about the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So you got words like race, cancer, all these things, all these trigger words, right? Autism, right? And they're donating towards fighting autism, and no one thought about just how insane that is. Like, anyway,
well.
like, I mean, I also know, right, that it's their money. It's your money. I can't tell you what to do with your money, right?
Yeah,
if you want to donate it, because it's not mine. I don't own a small fraction of your money.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to say I don't care what you donate to. I'm just saying that eventually I think people are going to stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As people become more astute in their understanding of the problem. And that's going to contribute to the fall of the fad until it's replaced with something else.
They could just pick another...
Or until cancer is cured.
Yeah.
Whichever comes first.
They could just pick something like the WWF or the
World Wildlife.
SPCA or SPCC, PCA, or something like that. Just some not like not about cancer for once.
I mean,
it's been nothing but cancer since they started out with autism and then they went straight to cancer and never stopped.
Be honest. Like, what do you think's going on with these companies? Okay, number one, you don't spend someone else's money as wisely as you spend your own money. That's just a fact. It's a fact of life. So they're not interested in maximizing the value of that money. I can't see what this is. What is this? It's a game. Is this Shrek Treasure Hunt?
Shark?
Shrek Treasure Hunt. What is it? What? It's a Shrek Treasure Hunt. I guess.
Shrek Treasure Hunt, guys. You're kind of in the ballpark.
Oh.
A little bit. My scalp doesn't stay moist without my helmet on. It supplies like oils to my skin, so I gotta keep it on. In other news, they introduced that weird chandelier Pokemon for Pokken Tournament, and that's not very interesting, in my opinion.
What? Chandelier Pokemon?
Yeah, it's like the chandelier.
Wow, they're really out of ideas now, aren't they?
Well, they have the Jingle Keys, which is apparently the really good because it's the only metal/ghost type.
Keys?
Yeah, it's the keys.
I never knew keys were ghost type. I'm waiting for Pokemon Salt and Pepper.
I'm sorry, that's too much of an old joke. I can't respond to it.
I'm sorry, that joke is too old. I'm waiting for Pokemon Wet and Dry. Pokemon Up and Down.
Inside out.
Pokemon On and Off.
Whoa. I think everyone would get Pokemon On. Except the edgy kids who got Pokemon off.
Pokemon Left and Right.
Pokemon Flesh and Bone.
Oh, God. Pokemon Sweet and Sour.
Pokemon Sodium Hydroxide and Pokemon Citric Acid.
Pokemon Acid and Pokemon Base. No, Pokemon Acid and Pokemon Caustic, it would be.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I get Pokemon Caustic.
Pokemon Dirty and Pokemon Clean.
Pokemon Sony and Pokemon Nintendo.
Great.
I know. You know, the manual implies that the 1 and 2 buttons and the button on the inside of the battery cover do the same thing. But
That's the manual.
I don't exactly believe that.
Don't trust the manual.
That's the Wii manual.
You should know better.
Yeah.
Manuals always lie.
This right here. Sometimes I get results from mashing the button on the console, sometimes I get results from holding it. I never get results from the process it tells me to do in the manual.
We're trying to sync up a Wiimote with the Wii here. This is why I hate the Wii.
Just die 200 times.
This is... Please die to death. This is why I don't casually play the Wii, like, when you're not here. I always play the GameCube. I just avoid the painful consoles.
Well, the GameCube is plug and play.
I know.
The Wii is like this innovative idea to make a console less convenient than a friggin' computer.
You need a Wiimote to browse the menu. Oh,
ah, there we go. We got it.
You absolutely need a Wiimote to use the Wii menu. We did all that work, right? So plug this GameCube controller in. So we're plugging in the GameCube controller to the Wii.
Yeah.
We did all that work to get this Wiimote working. Here's what we're going to do. So we're going to press the one button. Click. I pressed it. Ah, there we go. And then we're going to put the Wiimote away. That's it. That's the last time you need it to play a GameCube game. We don't need it anymore, folks.
Just make sure the camera's pointing in the right direction when you do something like that.
It's not me, it's the camera. The camera has to keep up with me. It's not...
It's the camera that's
The camera
wrong.
is the tool.
Yeah.
It's not me, it's the kids who are wrong.
It's the camera's duty to follow our orders.
Yes. I'm not a tool for the camera. The camera's a tool for me.
Yeah.
When are you going to learn that?
It's us that created them.
Yeah. They don't have control. What?
They
I don't
can't
know what you're
demand
thinking.
things of us.
That's right.
Alright, this is Vexx.
This is happening.
With 2 X's.
Acclaim Studios. Here comes Vexx on the GameCube. Here comes early 2000s man. Here comes 2004 man. Or whenever this came out.
Cartoon you just watch because it's on, man.
Okay. A planet blew up. And now we got floating islands as per video game physics. Classic.
Nobody ever inhabits the bottom. Because that doesn't have gravity. Whoa, is that supposed to be a hole? Looks flat to me.
Oh, everyone's just kind of... They couldn't decide what the character should look like, so they're vaguely human, but vaguely animal. So it's just like, there we go.
Yeah, they're kind of gross looking.
It's just a...
TBH. Damn.
He's a human, but he's got like an animal nose, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I just didn't know. It's like an Animaniac.
He's got some fur like on his cheeks. And
he is a lot like an Animaniac,
like
actually, if he had black fur everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. See, I like how in stories like this, the bad guys look bad. like, why is that the case all the time? Like, it's like they know they're evil. We're evil. We're orcs. Look at us.
Yeah.
Do I look evil to you? Of course I am.
Oh, of course.
You better get ready.
He's an orc. Get ready to do some bad. 'Cause I'm an orc. You gotta look the part.
I fight on behalf of evil.
Yeah.
Not even for our own benefit. We're just fighting for evil.
What is this massive
I
flesh?
don't know.
Oh man, he's getting the gauntlets.
It's another one of those games that, I mean, I've got so many of them, where it just makes me wonder what, like, I feel personally responsible for the the livelihood of the developers. Like, it's like...
It just seemed... It's like...
Those poor people,
It's like, they're like popcorn games.
like
They exist with the abundance of corn.
it's like a romantic comedy. It's like
Yeah.
it exists by virtue of the fact that it's cheap to make a movie.
Uh-huh.
Like, look how cheap it is to make a movie now. Guess we can make some rom-coms. It's like, it's just like, look how cheap it is to make a game now. Guess we can make some collect-em-ups. So you just get this, and you just got developers slaving away. You just don't even know what the hell they're working on. I don't know. I'm just making this mesh for this character. I don't know what he is. No one knows. No one involved in the process knows.
Got translucenized.
Everyone involved in the development of this game didn't know what they were working on until it was done. We found out what the game was. We found out it was Vexx when we were ready to ship it. Even the name came about because of a random typo.
Yep, I'm staying here. It's the C stick to control the... Oh, look at that cube!
Mm-hmm.
This is just Cube World, where there are cubes everywhere. Well, what just happened? What's going on? Okay, that was an effect from the dialogue. Okay. Camera's a little wonky.
Yep. Well, it looks alright. I mean...
Okay.
Looks like it's taking advantage of some of the GameCube's features that it had over
Yeah.
the PlayStation 2.
Lots of cubes in this game.
Seems to run well. It's got an interesting kind of fog layer over the screen.
Push the control stick.
The fog layer affecting depth of field around us and not really like where we are. So it's got that, if you like that sort of thing.
Oh, this is weird.
What?
It's got a Mario 64 long jump, except instead of ducking, you just slide.
If I was like the director of this game, I'd be like, I would not accept any of those textures that are on him right now. Like, look at them. They're like brown and yellow. They're all the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not... It's just not fun to look at this resolution. Like, they didn't know that...
And his arms are so thin, but his gauntlets are so big.
Like, the genre and the hardware that you're performing the game on should kind of inform the design, too.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't, like...
Well,
He's got textures on him like he's supposed to be in a gritty third-person shooter.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, well, I mean, he has big feet, so you know he's a platformer character. And he has these big edgy gauntlets, so you know you're gonna be...
Climbing.
You're gonna be God of Warring around like he is right now. Oh, there's also gravity shit, I think.
Look how long that is. I wonder, are they just hiding the loading?
Yeah. Looks like it.
This is what I love to see.
Yeah.
Now for the combat. Press B, B, B. Okay, yes, it's probably described all of the combat.
They should have just filled the screen with B.
B, 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 B.
Wait,
Press
what?
thousands of B buttons.
Where are the enemies?
I don't know.
Oh, it just gave me an arena to do the B in.
Oh.
That was weird. Oh yeah, that's a ground pound.
You're just doing it's like Sonic Heroes.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe they played Sonic Heroes and were just like, we want to make a whole game with Knuckles?
I wonder if Sonic Heroes was out yet.
I don't know.
You know, knowing Sonic Team, maybe they were copying off of this.
I hope Sonic Heroes wasn't out, insofar as I hope that it's never out. Like, I wish that we were in a time where it never came out. So I'm hoping that it wasn't out by this time.
Yeah.
Because I want to go back to that time, so...
Uh-huh.
I'm praying that it's not out yet when they made this game.
But knowing Sonic Heroes era Sonic Team, they probably looked at games like Vexx and took inspiration from it. They're like, yes, this is what we want.
I think the Sonic Team, like from the Sonic Heroes era, was probably looking back at old LJN licensed NES games. Being like, yes, this is how to do it.
So
How do we make it the least fun as possible?
these aren't coins, these are shards of the Wraith Heart.
Oh.
And they only load in when you look at them.
They're not shards of the Wraith Heart. What they actually are is just a collectible, right? It's just you can't call it something different to make it interesting. Like,
Well, I mean, you can't just call them a collectible. Oh shit.
well, no, I mean, I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a minute here and defend Sonic, right? The rings aren't coins; they're your health. You know what I mean? And you can pick them up when you drop them.
Mm-hmm.
See how that's actually not a coin? Like it's distinctly different,
yeah.
right? You know. Bizarrely, that's something that Mario copied off of Sonic when 64 came out. How do we make coins relevant in this 3D game when no one's worrying about score? We'll make him do that thing Sonic did.
Yeah. Unfortunately, with platformers, it's so damn easy to just copy off of Mario, because Mario's mechanics are just so, like, versatile.
That's classic Nintendo.
You just use them in everything.
Classic Nintendo figuring out how to do a genre the first.
Yeah.
And then everyone else has to copy off it.
Because, like, can you imagine a 3D platformer without some kind of long jump?
Yeah.
It would immediately be less fun.
I know, yeah.
It'd be Banjo-Kazooie.
I'll play devil's advocate even more and say the same thing almost happened with God of War. Like, God of War was so good that if you didn't copy it, you were worse. So then everything had to copy it, as much as that sucks, right?
You know, there were the big two NES platformers, Mario Brothers and Mega Man. They were completely different, and they had different ideas.
Yeah.
But 3D platformers, there's always that little bit of Mario World in them.
No one...
Or Mario 64.
Yeah, no one beats... Like, you know, it's the old axiom, you can't solve a problem using the same thinking that created it. Yeah. It also works backwards. You can't beat something using the same thinking that created it. Right? You can't beat something by being better than Super Mario 64.
Yeah.
You can beat it by being different.
Yeah.
And that's how all the best games beat other games in their subgenres. Beat being relative, right? I mean...
You can't beat these textures on this guy's ears.
You just can't beat that, man.
When you really get down to it, those are, like, really bloody influential.
Yeah, if you think about it, controllable cameras, lock-on, all these things they coined that we take for granted now.
Yeah. I wonder who invented the double jump.
Oh, that'd be an interesting thing to look up.
I wonder if it was introduced in a 2D game or a 3D game. I wonder if it was introduced in a 3D game as a sort of crutch.
I think, yeah, double jumping is usually a crutch that 3D game developers will use for you to reduce your jump dedication mid-jump. But maybe a 2D developer back in the day just stumbled on it for no reason. I'm going to have to look that up now.
Yeah. I think we played this on GingerSwitch before, looking at this level.
I asked someone if we played this before, and he was sure we didn't.
Oh. Really?
Yeah, and
now,
here's
something weird.
What?
When you're near a heart, your controller starts throbbing. It's kind of creepy. It's kind of unsettling.
It's not the only thing that's throbbing.
Whoa. Climbing walls, or... What is this help message thing?
It makes you really, really stoned. And then you just learn what to do from the ether. Like how people think they can get stoned enough that they can extract information from the universe itself. That's what he's doing. He's having a stoner vision of how to climb. Oh, I get it now. I know for a fact that most of these games are designed in such a way that...
Whoa!
Like, see how long this is?
I think this is the one.
See how slow this is?
Yeah.
It's just trying to add to the gameplay time. That's all that's doing. Like, it's not actually loading anything. It's just like, you know what? Let's make this take forever.
Well, why would this be loading anything?
Yeah, that's right. So why the hell is it so slow? That's what I'd be asking.
Use it as a platform.
If I was one of the developers, I'd be like, why is this so slow if it's not loading anything? And they'd be like, there'd be no other answer other than we were trying to lengthen the gameplay time. And I'd be like, no, go back and fix that.
Well,
you can't do that.
To be fair, reasonably, in the case of that thing, it was waiting for you to read it. So you don't just skip through it like I did.
No.
You can also change the time of day.
See, that's another... There you go. You've stumbled on actually another problem. They shouldn't have to tell you how to do it.
Oh, what was that?
They shouldn't tell you how to do it. You should be through a fun tutorial level, right? That by act of you doing it, teaches you how to play without you realizing you're in a tutorial.
Yeah.
That's how you have an emergent tutorial, as I called it before.
Mm-hmm.
If I was trying to teach the player how to play, I would gradually present them with problems where they would intuitively want to learn how to do it, and they would just stumble on how to do it, by the fact that there's no other way to proceed but to learn how to do it. You know what I mean? See, really, they shouldn't be telling you how to do anything.
Oh, a little challenge stage. This is interesting.
Yeah. Well done, Vexx.
Portal levels. So they can only be accessed at a certain time of day, I guess, and you change that with a little sundial thing. It's weird.
That was their idea.
Well, it's not. It's something.
If that's your idea, use it. Have it everywhere. Have it in the tutorial level. Make your game about
this
that.
This is the tutorial level.
No, I mean, the first thing you should have done when the game turned on was notice that there was a sun and moon cycle, and that you had to change them by holding in a button.
Yeah.
Something like that. That's what if that was my idea.
But this is the first level.
I thought this was a secret level to find the Wraith Heart. Get that Wraith Heart, Vexx. Vexx, get the Wraith Heart, bro.
Get the Wraith Heart, Brex. Get the Wraith Heart, Brex.
Brex.
Do it.
What does this guy eat for breakfast?
Wait. Bam. That doesn't do anything. Can I stand on that thing? What are these lights? These lights are so counterintuitive.
I know, I don't.
Ah, damn it. So yeah, I figured out how to use the sundial on my own.
Okay, that's cool.
Yet it told me how to attack and everything. I mean, you could figure this stuff out by just drawing buttons. There aren't that many buttons.
You need to present a situation to the player in which they teach themselves. Right? Everyone intuitively knows this, right? But a developer just gets lazy, or there's time constraints.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the need to, like you said, it's a living.
Mm-hmm.
A good example of this would be Half-Life and Half-Life 2. How good they are at teaching you how to play the game just by a nuanced level design, teaching you where to go,
Weird.
how to play, how to use the gravity gun.
Mm-hmm.
When you've played that, here's the difference, right? In Half-Life 2, the gravity gun is actually a really complex weapon mechanically for a player to use, and but they teach you by playing fetch with Dog.
Yeah.
So it's something fun to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's part of the story, and it just kind of arrives naturally. It emerges instead of just something that's non-diegetic, I think is the right word.
Whoa.
This text that comes up to teach Vexx how to do things, Vexx can't see that. That's not actually in the world, right? So it's not part of the world. So it's technically taking you out of it without you noticing it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now you learning how to use the gravity. You learning how to use the gravity gun by playing a game with someone inside Half-Life 2, inside the story, without you knowing it. That's how you teach someone how to do something. I mean, that little thing where you're playing catch in Half-Life 2 is fun enough that you don't want to stop. So you just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at this ugly piece of shit here. Is he even the same species as you? He doesn't look like it.
Yeah, he doesn't look like anything, really. He looks like a leper. His skin is just way too red. The skin on his eyes is coming loose, and
oh,
his ears are fused.
Yeah, here's where it becomes everything else. He just said when you collect enough hearts, you'll be able to open up rifts to other locations.
Yeah, yeah. Of course.
Here we are.
I know I've played this before.
I know we did, but we
Yeah.
didn't. I don't think we did it on video.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this is two hearts, I assume. So I'll just go back. Oh, look, it translates from the original language every time some text pops up.
yeah, that's a thing. I wonder, will there ever be an action platformer with really good combat? Like, imagine like Demon Souls with a jump button and tons of platforms everywhere and enemies that platform.
Yeah, yeah.
Will that ever happen? I wonder.
Oh, here's an alien.
Yeah.
He's a real alien. They do exist.
I knew it. I knew they were hiding them in that desert place in that country, what's under our country. I knew they were all along, and they were hiding them in this game.
I knew Area 51 was real.
I knew it. I knew it all along.
What? Huh, this is... Okay.
I guess you're too heavy for that gigantic stone block.
Yeah. Like, what's the indicator that this is gonna sink?
I don't know.
This is just... It looks like a solid piece of stone that's stuck inside a tree.
If I was the developer on this, I would make certain collectibles kill you.
Yes.
And it's hard to tell the difference.
Uh-huh. Like I said the other day, if I was running an MMO, I would change the EXP rate to minus 100% for one day, and just see how people react.
Oh.
Or minus 100 times the usual rate. So like, if you're level 100 and you level up once, you just reduce to 1. And suddenly all your equipment can't work, so the game just crashes. Ugh. I absorbed the demon heart, Master. Grog.
Grog.
Kurg.
This character should have been called Grog. This should have been called Grog and the Wraith Hearts.
Yeah.
This game should have been a 3D version of Chuck Rock. When's Chuck Rock 2 on the PS4?
Yeah. It's
Come
about...
on.
It's 2016, guys.
It's 2016. Where's Chuck Rock? Come on. You guys don't know what Chuck Rock is, you can check it out on the channel.
Yeah.
It's on the it's on the Jungle Games video we did.
Uh-huh. This is the reach of the dragon.
Yep, a computer came up with that name too.
Uh-huh.
Looks like a computer designed this stage too.
Yeah.
We just set in the parameters we wanted. We wanted hot, desert, and serpentine, and they came up with this.
Mm-hmm.
And these aliens are still here. I don't know what they're doing, why they're there.
One of these days, since you brought that up, one of these days, and I'm looking forward to this as it's something that will happen. Someone's gonna make a computer that makes Mario Maker levels, and it's just gonna break the online system, and like people are gonna be psyched about it first, and then it's gonna ruin the Nintendo network system because it's shit. And
Chances are, if you live in the world of 2016 now,
yeah,
you've already read a few news articles written by bots. You've already heard a few pieces of music composed by bots. Chances are,
yeah,
like there's AIs are already producing relatively good music, like relatively good sounding instrumental music that you can just have in backgrounds and stuff. And they're already writing competent news articles,
yeah.
like that actually sound right.
Did you ever hear of that game CPU Bach?
No.
It's actually a it's a piece of software for I think the 3DO or something that produces like Bach-like compositions.
It just produces. You mean like
It just like it
instrumental contrapunctal music?
yeah.
That's cool.
And it does it pretty well. Like
It
I
is
mean,
it like
Bach
available.
made tons of music,
Yeah.
but and they all sort of sound the same. But
Yeah, I know.
the fact that you can make an algorithm that just does it almost as well is pretty good.
It's amazing. Like, well, Bach was like a computer in the
Yeah.
same kind of. He has thousands and thousands and thousands of tracks, and he just hammered them out all day, every day for his whole life because he was employed by a church to make music every week, and they paid him in food. So he made thousands and thousands of these tracks, and he wasn't popular when he was alive. And then after he died, people found out that like 5% of the tracks that he made were like unbelievably amazing. It's like a computer. If you asked a computer, you just make music for thousands of years straight, and it happened to come up with one piece of music that was so unique and amazing.
Yeah.
I wonder what are the best computer-generated music tracks available. Like, can you vote on them somewhere?
What the heck? What did I just do?
I don't even know.
I might have broke something.
That object should not be there.
Yeah.
Where it is naturally is clipping into something.
Are my eyes closed? No. I just look very disappointed. Ugh.
You look very contrapuntal.
Yeah, very contrapunctal.
I really don't know what's going on. I don't even know how we got here.
I went into a hole, and now... Oh, even my drowning gauge is confusing. Like, it's just a bubble that goes around around the outside of the around the circumference of the HUD thing, whatever.
Look how big that map is in the corner. It's gigantic.
Yeah.
At least it's there, though.
And the vision is so warped. Look at how warped everything is. It's a little messy.
Did this developer ever see what things actually look like underwater? Like, I was thinking the other day, has anyone ever developed a game to give you a realistic underwater experience? Like, with the, lack of vision? Like, the, you know how your vision distance goes down like crazy underwater?
Oh, yeah.
And it's dark. And it gets darker the lower you go down. And if you go into a cave, it's really murky, so you need a powerful flashlight.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever made a game like that?
Oh, here we go. Never mind.
Oh, that's what I want to play.
Here's that cube.
Underwater spelunking game.
It's very hard not to drown. And I've suddenly stopped caring about what's happening.
That's because this is Vexx.
Well, here's a ring that I don't know what does.
Well, everyone,
That's Vexx.
that's
for you.
Vexx. Check it out if you want to. Hey, bro. Here's some PlayStation Portables. I have two. Look.
Why do you have two?
Well, one's slim and one's fat.
I can barely tell the difference.
It's equal opportunity, folks.
Elaborate.
Darth Vader. Oh, so cool.
You know, it's funny, I almost bought a Darth Vader PS4.
Oh.
When, like, it was the Skylanders Star Wars sort of crossover thing
Yeah.
it came with. And it cost $50 extra.
Ugh.
So I decided to put that off.
Well, that's good. It's good that you waited. This
Good to wait.
This PSP, the fat one, this is a launch PSP actually. Compare the two. This one's a lot lighter.
It's much lighter.
Much, much lighter. And it feels a little bit cheaper, to be frank. I like things a little bit meaty nowadays. As I've gotten on in years, I like things that feel like they're not going to break. And not only that, it makes it easier to hold. Like, there's actually a little bit to grab on the back here. If you look at the way there's kind of like a rise here and there. This doesn't have it. It's perfectly flat. So this is from that era where it was like the exact moment where cosmetics overtook how comfortable it was. So now it was more important to look better than be comfortable, and that's a big no-no.
Here are the game discs that I like. The little tiny little tiny DVDs or whatever.
Cool. It just goes right in here.
Yeah.
And you put the game in. What game is this? Oh, it's Dissidia Final Fantasy. That's actually a pretty good game.
It's also I think it's a port of Street Fighter Alpha 3 Vexx.
Yeah, it's a perfectly competent fighting game.
Lots of characters
you can play on this. Let's see what's in the Darth Vader Slim one, eh? Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. Another competent game you can play in the system. PSP, the original, you had to move this button and it would actually open up a mechanical slot where the UMD would go. This one, it doesn't have a mechanical slot. You actually pop it open like that. Alright, so cost saving measure probably on behalf of the manufacturer. You got the same analog nub. Same. Buttons feel almost exact same. LNRs feel the same.
Yeah, they kind of... I think it was a missed opportunity to not improve the nub.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the nubs really improved later on, but this was the first implementation of it, and it was a little... Well, it was too low on the machine, first of all.
Well, it was really good in the day, right? This was the first time I've ever had a portable console with an analog control method.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I can't knock it, right? Because it's the first one, right, that I ever had. And, you know, everything else was digital input D-pads.
It certainly works.
Oh, it works fine, but it just had a lot. It had a lot to go. It had a long road ahead of it. I don't have a Vita, but the Vita has 2 analog sticks that are actually risen and have distance to them. I can't tell you anything about them because I've only tried it for like a second. And the fact that I don't have a Vita is a red flag for Sony, because these were fine little pieces of hardware. You know, there were some good games on them, but there's absolutely nothing to play in the Vita. If you thought this was a port station, wait till you see the Vita. It's just port central.
But see, the disc slot was really interesting. I thought it was really cool at the time, but it's also scary.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the smaller the discs get, the easier they are to damage.
Yeah.
Same for the hardware.
Really is amazing that when you think about it, that Sony managed to cost effectively manufacture portable consoles that took a spinning disc. You ever think about that? How interesting that is?
Yeah.
These the PSP handhelds took a spinning disc and all came with a mechanical drive. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. And it was probably like they weren't any larger than any portable consoles.
It really is surprising that they did it. It's not. It's very portable. It was
probably the biggest jump ahead in portable console.
This fits in your pocket perfect. It's perfect pocket-sized console. It feels durable. It's a really great piece of hardware, but Sony would completely drop the ball with the Vita, and the only thing keeping this thing going today is Japan. Japanese players still play on PSP.
And you know, middle lower class children, I think. It was really popular with, because you'd always see just kids like playing with these utterly beat up PSPs. Never DSs for some reason.
They should be playing the Game Boy Advance. That's a really great piece of hardware right there.
But I think the main reason for that was popular with that particular demographic that I'm talking about is because it had Grand Theft Auto on it.
Well, yeah, and it had
That's what I spent most of the time playing it.
It had the third parties, right? It had the third parties that people have never seen on a handheld before. Like, they were like, wow, look at these.
Like Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, look at these games that I've only ever seen on a console finally actually being handheld. I've never seen that before. Because before this, Nintendo owned handhelds. They were 100% of the handheld market was Nintendo.
Yeah.
So you never seen handheld first-person shooters, really.
You also had PS1.
PS1
ports
to this
emulation.
Yeah, you could download PS1 games in this shit. Had a huge library, really, and it had a few good exclusives.
It was also very easily hacked.
Oh man,
I think that also attributed to I guess I'll just come out and say poor people owning it a lot, because you didn't have to buy games if you didn't have to, or if you didn't want to.
Yeah, this thing had a lot of homebrew and a lot of emulators and stuff. That's really going to help its longevity. I think these things, like original launch PSPs, are going to go up in value over time, just because of how good they are to emulate with. Like they're
still good.
People are probably still looking for this on eBay, I bet.
They're pretty much ideal for anything below.
Yeah, man.
PS1 and below.
NES, Super Nintendo, things from that era and before, GBA, and actually having PS1 ROMs on it, you can't go wrong. They work fine, because people have spent so much time on it. People really worked really hard on getting them to work on this. And they achieved a lot. Yeah.
It's probably a little better than 3DS, with the better screen. Like, the controls are worse, but
yeah, I mean, the screen is gigantic. Like, this was
the screen's still
really an incredible piece of hardware for the time. It just couldn't break Nintendo. It couldn't break their stranglehold on the handheld market.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, Final Fantasy Dissidia, the GTA games.
Yeah, this is when any 3D games at all was unheard of.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty big leap forward.
Lots of competent ports, albeit ports.
Yeah.
Do you think there's going to be another Sony handheld after the Vita? Because I know Sony just recently announced that the Vita has become a legacy console, meaning they're no longer working on it.
Yeah.
And a lot of the games that were announced for the Vita in the last few E3 conferences have actually been canceled.
Yeah.
Like the BioShock port for it's been canceled.
Yeah.
Whole bunch of things have been canceled. Do you think there's going to be another one?
They just didn't push it hard enough.
How can they own the console market now, and they can't make a handheld?
Yeah.
Somebody explain that to me. Why can't they do it? Especially when third parties are willing to play nice with them.
Yeah.
Why? Like, no third parties will shake hands with Nintendo, and yet they own the handhelds, and Sony has mastered the art of the home console now with the PS4, owning in many regions over half of the market in consoles, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Why can't they make a handheld?
Well, for one, 3DS had now has Monster Hunter, and
the Vita? If the Vita
Dragon
was more
Quest.
popular, it would have Monster Hunter.
yeah, but it doesn't.
I know it doesn't, but why? Why couldn't they hit the ground running?
They didn't
Hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Get some wind under their sails,
Uh-huh.
and say, "Come on, Monster Hunter, go with the Vita or the 3DS." They're gonna go with the Vita.
Well, that's the thing. They didn't push it hard enough.
I know. That's not.
They didn't get. I mean, they when it came out, it was impressive because you could play like Uncharted and Killzone and that kind of stuff on it. But that's all they had. All they had were those games.
Just
like,
the core games that people were already playing on consoles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They had God of War and just like a poor man's versions of games on console.
Yeah, it's depressing.
Mm.
I mean, I hope that...
that succeeded in impressing me, but it didn't
it just
entice me to buy
it just
one.
didn't win over enough of the third parties. Like, I don't want to see anyone fail, but I hope that the 3DS and the success of that wasn't a hat trick. I hope it wasn't a fluke.
Yeah.
Like, and it turns out that Nintendo can't actually make another competent handheld. And if they can't, it's going to be Sony that makes a good one.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll never happen, but that's just the atmosphere of the market right now.
Yeah.
Alright, these PSPs, you can probably find them on eBay if you are interested in some of the ports and the few exclusives that are on them, and other nasty things like homebrew and emulation.